In today's news, Thailand is taking the proposal to legalize gambling very seriously. Meanwhile, the government finally decides it wants to give financial assistance to the people in the entertainment industry after over a year of shutting them down. All this and more stories coming up in today's program. Happy Friday, everyone. You're watching Thailand News Today, bringing you the latest headlines in Thailand and beyond. And in our first story, 5 subcommittees have been established to tackle the proposal to legalize building a casino entertainment complex in Thailand. A spokesperson said each subcommittee will focus on different aspects of pushing the legalization forward. The 5 subcommittees will examine taxation, potential locations, investment plans, the gambling industry as a whole, as well as possible negative impacts of the casinos. Parliament had voted last week 310 to 9 in favor of setting up the Casino Complex Proposal Committee. The main casino committee has 15 cabinet representatives and 45 members from other political parties. But the government is also encouraging students, organizations, and anyone in the general public with an interest in the casino complex to take part and serve as advisors to each of the 5 subcommittees. However, the move has created controversy, with a recent poll indicating that the majority of Thai people do not support the legalization of casinos and gambling in Thailand. While many oppose gambling being legalized here, online gambling has become a huge problem, as well as a huge potential legal revenue stream the government is missing out on. Government officials say gambling laws need to be updated anyway to control the illegal betting already going on. In order to make the casino complex more enticing, officials vowed to use a portion of government revenue from the casino to pay off debt to students and teachers as well as farmers. They also say they somehow plan on limiting entrance to the casino only to guests who are at least 20 years old and have good income-earning jobs.
Sean Stenning from 5-Star Marine. Across the other side, we've got Krabi and Hong Krabi. They've been doing quite a lot of work during the downtime.
Yeah, National Park's been amazing out there. They've built probably the best viewpoint that I've ever seen. You're going to go up, and then right at the top, you're going to see every island in this area. You're going to go look around over Phang Nga Bay, Hong Krabi, Phi Phi, Yau Yai, Yau Noi, and it's stunning, and it looks right over a lagoon. Just the most stunning thing.
So Hong Krabi is about, 45 minutes from Phuket?
Yeah, 45 minutes out there, 16 islands in the Hong Krabi area. Yeah, and a beautiful viewpoint, nice mix of snorkeling and sightseeing, and one of my favorite beaches out there, Little Paradise Beach.
Okay, that was the one in the Mechanic?
Well, that's one of the ones out there, and yes, I still hope to see Jessica Alba out there one day.
Okay, and on your way back from Krabi, you visit this little spot?
Yeah, this is Koh Rang Ye, just a little private island, nice little spot to come relax and maybe watch the sunset before heading back in.
This looks like the perfect little tropical island with the palm trees.
I think this is what you see in the postcards, right?
This is where they're going to do the remake of Gilligan's Island. Okay, Sean, thank you very much. Back to you, Jet.
Speaking of income-earning jobs, the Social Security Office of Thailand has officially agreed to help people in the entertainment sector who have been without work and any financial assistance for over a year. If the cabinet approves the new measures, workers in the sector can receive a one-time payout of 5,000 baht to cover a year of lost wages a year later. Well, of course, many would argue that after over a year of being forsaken, a single payout is too little too late. The vice president of the Musicians Association of Thailand pointed out that workers in the entertainment sector were the first to lose their jobs and the last to have an opportunity to work again or receive any financial aid. To this, the Social Security Office argues that the worst of the COVID-19 pandemic has now passed and future payments won't be necessary, an explanation that did not make sense to me either. The single payment would go to workers like musicians, comedians, and other performers who have been unable to work due to the government's restrictions. The cabinet is expected to consider and approve the payout at their meeting on December the 21st. If approved, the Secretary General said they expect payments to be wired to many entertainers directly to their prompt pay accounts right before the end of the year on December the 29th, just as they go back to work. Hundreds of police have been deployed to control an ongoing riot at the Krabi provincial prison off the Andaman coast. Around 70 inmates started rioting around 9 p.m. last night to demand that inmates infected with COVID receive proper hospitalization. Prisoners reportedly threw the riot because an inmate was offered COVID treatment off prison grounds, while the others infected with the virus had to be treated at the correctional facility. A group of inmates destroyed one dorm and set fire in different areas. Some inmates grabbed knives and tool supplies from the vocational building. Some prisoners tried to climb the prison's wall, while others tried to break into the female area. More than 300 prison guards, together with Volunteer Defense Corps, were called to the correctional facility to suppress the riot. Rubber bullets have been used to suppress violence, and so far 3 inmates were injured by the rubber bullets. Guards have been able to control the fires and move more than 300 female inmates to a temporary prison for safety. The inmates agreed to talk and asked for 14 COVID-19 patients to get treatment outside. The authorities agreed to contact Krabi Hospital, and now reports say they will gradually bring each inmate patient to get treatment with prison guards and police on standby 24 hours a day. As of this morning, reports say the rioters are still protesting. Authorities will have a meeting to find proper ways to control the riot. In the largest heroin bust in Taiwan on record, 2 Thai men were arrested yesterday for allegedly hiding hundreds of kilograms of heroin in lumber shipments and trafficking the drugs to Taiwan. Late last month, officers in Taiwan's New Taipei City reported that they found over 446 kilos of heroin with a street value of around 6 billion baht hidden in imported wood from Thailand. Thai authorities launched an investigation and discovered that the drugs were smuggled to Thailand from Laos. Officers say they believe the drugs were hidden in the lumber warehouse in Pathum Thani before being exported to Taiwan. 2 Thai men, who are owners of a lumber factory in Pathum Thani and work under the Royal Forest Department, were arrested yesterday. Police say the men denied being involved with trafficking the heroin to Taiwan, but admitted to being hired by one of the Laos entrepreneurs under investigation. Officers added that this is a major transnational crime and there are 5 more suspects in this case. One of them is the Lao entrepreneur who hired the men at the Thai lumber warehouse. Possibly around 700 refugees from Myanmar fled to Thailand's Tak province to escape violence following clashes between the state military and the prominent ethnic armed wing of the Karen National Union in the town Lay Khe Kaw near the Thai border. A government official who spoke to AFP reporters said Thai officials have provided food and shelter to the 700 refugees. Myanmar's shadow government, also known as the National Unity Government, made a statement saying they are ready to engage with the Thai government and international community to respond to people in need in Lay Khe Kaw. The Karen Women's Organization Secretary General says that more than 1,000 people have been permitted to cross the border after community leaders negotiated with Thai officials. The fighting began on Wednesday, a day after state media claimed that junta soldiers had infiltrated Karen territory and arrested a number of dissidents, including a former MP from Aung San Suu Kyi's deposed administration. The Karen National Union has been a strong opponent of the February 1st coup and has offered refuge to dissidents fighting to overthrow the government. There have been numerous violent and deadly clashes between the state military and the union's armed wing along the Thai border. Following the reopening of Laos to tourists on December the 3rd, China is expecting more than 1 million travelers to take the newly built high-speed train link between Kunming and Vientiane in the upcoming Lunar New Year season, despite the current COVID restrictions. According to Chinese state media, more than 300,000 people have traveled to the China side of the $6 billion railway since its reopening, and added that China would triple the number of freight trains on the route for roughly 6 weeks around the Lunar New Year. since cargo shipments have already begun using the railway, with $15.7 million worth of goods having been transported as of Wednesday. The queue is expected to take longer during the new year on February the 1st next year, when Laos will fully reopen to tourists. China, which owns a 70% share in the joint venture, aims to extend the 1,000-kilometer line via Thailand to Malaysia and Singapore in the future. And that wraps up the show for this week. Thailand News Today will be back on Monday. Meanwhile, check out our featured videos on our channel. And you're now up to date on the Thaiger.